I'm Ed Muzio, author of Iterate, and I've heard a lot of complaints from members of management. I'm going to give you the big ones, the 4 horrible truths of management, and what you can do about them. Management with a capital ment, the pure act of management, is about assigning the organization's resources, people, money, and materials, to its highest priority outputs, what it's trying to do. This function often gets confused with some related functions. One of them is managing. Managing is about helping employees to succeed, helping them with career paths, giving them corrective action and feedback if they need it, enforcing policies. If you have direct reports, this is very important, but it's not what we're talking about here. There's also a body of work called change management. Change management is about helping large groups of people to acclimate to major changes in things like organizational direction or scope or market served. Again, if you have those kind of changes going on, this is very important, but it's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the pure act of management, and there's a lot to complain about, so let's get started. The first horrible truth about management is that management isn't sexy. It's true, the act of assigning resources to priorities is just not that impressive when viewed from the outside. What can you do about this? Well, unfortunately, you're going to have to get used to it. There's not much you can do. You can expect to get accolades on the outputs you produce, but if you're expecting people to appreciate the actual work it took to get there, other than maybe your peers, you're going to be disappointed. It's just not sexy work viewed from the outside. Doesn't mean it's not important. The second horrible truth about management is that management is about being wrong. Now, I'm going to put wrong in quotes here, but nobody else ever will. Here's why. You're going to make an assignment of resources to priorities, and then pretty soon something's going to change. Market, customer, technology, and someone's going to tell you this assignment is wrong. You're going to have to revisit and make another assignment. This is what I call iteration. This is the reality of how management works. Oftentimes, the signal you need to change comes packaged as a message that you're wrong. So you can't stop those messages. What can you do about this? Well, a couple things. First of all, make as good a decision as you can for the next step. Don't worry about defending the rightness of previous steps, just make the next good decision. Second, build an organization that's good at iteration, that's good at continually changing, because it's the cumulative effect of all these steps that's going to get you to your output goals. The third horrible truth about management is that management can only allocate resources. That's the whole job. Now, when you're in this role, people are going to come to you with concerns about the market, technology, the customers, other employees, big changes on the horizon. You may have to do some work down here, but don't lose your focus on management. That's what you do about it. You make sure you stay focused on resources. When people bring you information, keep asking the question, does this new information change my understanding of how my resources should be assigned? If it does, make the change. If not, don't worry about it, but keep your focus on getting your resources where they need to be. Finally, management is always, and I mean always, resource constrained. You never have enough resources. I didn't draw the whole picture here. In addition to these key outputs, there are a whole long list of other almost as important, almost as good outputs that you could resource. Your job in management is not just to resource these, it's to not resource those. Don't spread yourself too thin, get the most important work done. The problem is these are going to have verbal, vocal, emotional advocates who are going to complain to you that you're not resourcing it. And all you can do about that is focus on your priorities. Make sure you know what they are, and make sure you get good at talking about them so you can explain why you're not doing things, but hold firm to your priorities. Now, this may sound like all bad news, but really it's not. The truth is, management is essential, influential, and engaging. Your job is essential. It's not possible to have a good organization without good decisions in every level of management consistently. It's influential. The decisions you make affect the customers, the products, your employees, their families, the future of the organization. Your work is really, really important. And finally, it's engaging. People who are good at this work come to like the fact that it's a puzzle. This is always changing, it's always different, and the impacts to the organization are enormous. So the next time you feel compelled to complain to your spouse, or your boss, or to me, about your job in management, before you do, check the list. Is your complaint that your job isn't sexy, people don't appreciate it, or that you're constantly told you're wrong, or that all you can really do is allocate resources, or that you're always, always, always resource constrained? If it is, we've talked about what you can do about it. But of course, you can go ahead and complain too. And when you do, feel good about your complaint, because you're complaining with the best of them. You've identified one of the 4 horrible truths of management.